This is how to gain great power in the United States. First, build your resume. Fill it with public government jobs like US Secretary of State or US Ambassador to Russia or both. Then, cut ties with the US government and find a job in the private sector. Something suspicious, something with a lot of cash flow, because of course you want money with your power. Maybe you ask a buddy in a company or a friend in a corporation, but to really fulfill this step, you have to call up Jeffrey Epstein. Why, you might ask? Well, because he's a good buddy of yours at this point, even after being convicted for Now, he's going to get you a really good private sector job, a nice cushy occupation at the top of the biggest think tank in the USA, that being the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. You'll work there for a few years and then immediately get recruited by the government once more. There, at the last step, you'll have all the power you need to do whatever you want. So, when do you want to start? Today? Tomorrow? Oh, you don't want to at all. You just want to watch a video. Jeffrey Epstein's dead anyway? Okay. Fine. This isn't actually a how-to guide to get powerful in the US, but this is a guide or timeline that worked for someone very high up in our own government today. Who is that, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. During the Obama administration, a man named William Burns had a few jobs over Obama's 8 years in office. First, Will was the ambassador to Russia for the US. Then, he was under the Secretary of State for Political Affairs, eventually becoming the US Secretary of State, and finally the US Deputy Secretary of State before leaving the government in 2014. From here, he wanted to transition to the private sector, which is just the business side of the economy, not owned by the government. Think Apple or Walmart or nonprofit organizations. He didn't want some corporate job though. He wanted somewhere more prestigious and more powerful. So he asked his not buddy, Jeffrey Epstein, for some advice. And Jeffrey got him a job as the president of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, the biggest think tank in the USA. Think tank is a group of people who try to solve problems and provide solutions for US issues. They're funded mostly by donations. Specifically, the Carnegie think tank is funded by a few major players, with about a $62 million payout from all of them together. Some donors are the Ford Foundation, the Rockefellers, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. With this money, they do who knows what. It's not tracked, but they do publish books. One book being A Public Role for the Private Sector, Industry, Self-Regulation in the Global Economy, which you could use to infer their real intentions. That being corporatizing the government, putting people in the government that are in favor of corporation rules and regulations. Anyway, back to William Burns. Given the Carnegie think tank president job by Jeffrey Epstein, William stayed there until 2021. In 2021, he was handpicked by the Biden administration to become, guess what? The director of the CIA. So maybe you could use this to gain power over the US, at least if Jeffrey didn't kill himself. If you like this quick reality check and want to see more, let me know in the comments below. And also, shout out to a channel called CancleThisConspiracy for supplying this info and doing the digging. I did some here and there, but he did most of it. There's plenty to watch on his channel, so I suggest you check it out. You know what else you could check out? Your meat. No, like your dinner. There's something you should know about what you're eating.